And also the story of one incident happened. There was this slave of Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu. He he used to cry a lot whenever he used to see a grave. So the slave asked that, yeah, Uthman, why do you cry a lot, so much for the grave? You don't cry that much for paradise and hell, but why this grave in particular? So Prophet, he said, Sayyidina Uthman, he said, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this hadith is in Tirmidhi, by the way, he said that indeed the grave is the first of the hereafter's dwellings. If a person passes through it safely, what follows it will be easier. It's the first stage. You pass in that, that's it. All of it gonna be easy. And if he does not pass through it safely, what follows will be more horrible. And I have never seen a dreadful sight, but that of the grave, which is even more dreadful. Very, very scary. We're gonna cover what's gonna happen in grave, really, inshallah. So that's how he used to prepare. Whenever he used to go to the grave, he used to start weeping, thinking about death. There are a few things, there are action items. I'm going to do a lot of fiqh here, a lot of do's and don'ts, something which we usually do, which we shouldn't be doing, and so on. A lot of fiqh related issues. So, action items. So, a person, before he dies, he has to do a few things, and when he is about to die, he has to do a few things. And people who visit him, at the time of dying, they are supposed to do a few things. When a person dies immediately, they are supposed to do a few set of things. We're going to learn all of them, inshallah. So before, even he doesn't even know when he's going to die, but maybe, he should start preparing for it. When he starts preparing for it, he has to do a few things. I'm going to briefly cover a few things here because we're going to go into these things detailedly later on. But I'm going to do very quickly here. First thing is that he should try very hard to settle his debt. And we're going to talk what happens if you don't pay your debt and you die. There are very serious things that happens. Prophet Muhammad, he didn't pray janazah over this person who had debt until it was paid, and a person gets punished until the debt is paid off. And so many things, we will cover that. But also forgiveness from people. So if he has hurt somebody physically, verbally, emotionally, or taken rights of people, it's a good time that he goes and asks for forgiveness, because if this is not reconciled in this world, it's going to be a big problem on the day of judgment. They have to, that time the compensation is not sorry or anything. The compensation is your deeds, and we'll be very short on deeds at that time, and it's very problematic, and if it falls short, we might end up in hellfire. So do all those reconciling in this world. Forgive people. Again, remember death, and it's very easy for you to ask for forgiveness. People are like, it's his fault, why should I ask his forgiveness? No, but just initiate. Just forgive people, whether it's your fault or not. You might die tomorrow. Who cares who hurt people or not? Just go and ask for forgiveness. And also will and inheritance document. He has his whole book, the Sheikh Jibali, he has his whole books on inheritance. Maybe if we have time, we'll cover that. What inheritance, why should we have inheritance, and what are the basic rulings. There's a lot of details, but we'll cover, inshallah, very, very brief ones that applies to this day and age. And also, that person should be doing lots and lots of good deeds. Because if a person dies doing a bad deed, that's very bad. That basically means his hereafter is very, very problematic. That's called one of the bad ends. We have another chapter called what are the good endings and bad endings. How do you know which one was a righteous believer and which one was a very sinful believer? So ending is very important. That's why scholars say, whenever you make dua that you get this husnul khatam. It's very, very important. You might live the whole life praying tahajjud and all, but at the end of the year, you do something and, one day you do a very bad thing and that's it. All is gone. So in Islam, one thing, everything that you do, very important, and ending is the most important. And also, finally, this person should make a lot of du'as. There are specific du'as about what we should ask. There are some du'as related to death, and you'll find it elsewhere. And if somebody needs somebody, they can come back to me. I'll show you. Like there are so many beautiful ahadith about the du'as about death, and Allah subhanahu wa taala. Actually, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us to make dua about this protection about certain types of deaths. There are certain deaths. Few deaths are like very easy. Some are very painful. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us few duas, and basically those duas, I have listed 9 things here. In that particular dua, he told us to take protection of Allah subhanahu wa taala from dying from collapsing of building, and because of distress and falling from a high place, and from drowning, and from burning, and from old age. So that's the dua, and also from snake bite, and also most important, shaitan's confounding touch at the time of death. If shaitan comes to you, and we're going to cover how shaitan does his tricks and plans, plotting, what he says to different people, and we have some stories about that. Because that's his last chance, so he's going to try it the most. He never tried throughout your life that much, and that time he's going to try his everything. He's got that last chance, so it's so much important we ask that that time that we make dua. And also dying while running away from fighting for your cause. So if you're fighting and you run away, that's a very major sin. And if you die, that's it. That's it. Big problem. If you're dying while running away, so seek your protection. Seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from dying while running away and fighting for your cause.